Done that.
I think all I know is some doors need to open, blood, guys. Mad hot in there.
I can't open this one. Blood will come in, bro.
What about the back of that?
It's open already, Joe.
Oh shit.
Let's just wait until we get the house.
It's funny, man. Making me hot, man.
No, yeah, it says go.
No.
Bro, because you told me create, innit? I pressed create, that was it, fam.
Oh, don't lie. They got caught banging at the races. What's that? That's what.
Yes. I'll do both. Alright, cool.
No, you sound randy.
Yeah, we'll get some action.
You sound like you wouldn't do them things there, bro.
No, man.
I'll take them
Yeah,
chances.
we'll get
Just...
some action.
He's eating,
I'm taking them chances, Joe. That's exciting, blood.
Alright, a couple people watching. Yeah, listen, if you're watching, send us a little comment, let us know that we're live and that we're clear and you can hear us and everything, please.
On site, everybody watching. Hey, that is Randy.
Randy and them, man.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Dig it.
Yeah,
The people don't ramp though, bro. That man on the plane, he took it to another level, bro. He is, I don't know, I can't even call him a G, he had a wife. He took the piss.
Feel the man, though.
What's wrong with you, bro?
Man's a
different type of
feel the man go. Alright, let's, yeah, man.
Alright, should we get going, yeah?
We're live in the building, live in effect.
Well, yeah, I just wanted to get a comment from somebody if they are seeing. Make sure we are live. I'm watching.
Yeah. I like sitting next to the arms, man.
There's that one, it might actually be shame.
Sitting next to the chest, man.
Huh?
I said next to the chest, man.
Yeah, you. That's you, Marcus. I ain't been gymming so long, that it's ridiculous.
I don't know what gym looks like.
Man said, now I've got water, you know, this time I've got the sugar water, like that's a
Sugar free, fam.
you use that, yeah? Fair enough. Great, what?
You know what it is? I think let's just kind of get going and just do the thing, yeah?
There's no one said nothing.
Yeah, but you know, with YouTube, it takes a while for things to catch up and stuff like that.
Okay.
So
Okay,
I don't know what's going on. Right. Anyway, listen, Roadhouse Men in the building, make some noise. Back after a little break, after a little hiatus. I like that word, but don't know what it actually means. Right. Obviously, before we kind of get going today, it is a very, very serious topic. Let's introduce who we've got inside first and foremost, and then we're going to dive straight into it. Starting all the way to my left.
Yeah, it's me, the Pan-African, aka Dwayne.
Yeah, man, I missed you guys, man. It's Mr. D, it's Darren.
Yo, what's going on? It's Rakes. It's good.
And obviously, you got myself, the host, Devil's Advocate. You know what it is already. Right. Today, we're going to be talking about the tragic events of Grenfell Tower. There's a few things that I want to kind of just put out there before we go. I was going to try and be all smart and not say it, but I got my notes, so I'm going to read them. Is what it is, yeah? Right, so I'm calling these facts. These are loose facts. These is what we've been told. It's information that we're relying off the media. But listen, let's not go there yet. Right, so Grenfell Tower, 24-story building, yeah? One entrance, one exit. 120 homes in there. It was built in 1974, all right? The fire itself happened at approximately 1 a.m. And at that time, there was an estimated 700 people, yeah? Estimated. That might be a little bit more, might be a little bit less, so don't hold me to that as well, yeah? The cause of the fire, as I knew it, was unknown. Yeah, there was things said about it being a fridge. There was actually a few things. There was rumored that there was a gas explosion. There was rumors it was a faulty fridge. There was faulty wiring. That was down to the cladding on the outskirts. That it was a lack of sprinkler. All of these different things. But sorry, the lack of sprinkler is not the cause. But there were all these different factors as to why this tragic event occurred. All right, or why it couldn't be prevented. Has anyone got anything to say on that in terms of the reason, the cause?
From what I understood, and it was widely, reported that it was a faulty fridge, and that the gentleman whose flat it actually originated from packed his suitcase and then alerted his fellow neighbours about the fire.
Right.
How true that is, I think that's just rumour.
Okay. Right. Some of the other factors that come into this. Obviously, listen. I say shit happens, and when I say that, I don't say it loosely, but you know, accidents happen and shit goes down. We get that. But there was 2 years, I think it was 2 years prior, there was a said refurbishment to the building, or a year ago actually. It was in 2016. Yeah, so a year ago there was refurbishment to the building, which included putting up this plastic cladding, on the outside, which was mainly for the visual. But one of the main things was, obviously there was a previous fire in the tower block in 2009, which was Larkenhall in Camberwell. And they wanted to take preventative measures to make sure something like this didn't happen again. The people of Grenfell Tower had basically been going to the council and reporting that they believe that it's unsafe. They had been asking for different things to be done, and basically even I think someone called the Grenfell Action Group put on Twitter, it's going to take a catastrophic, I'm going to say the word.
Catastrophic.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, event for action to actually take place. And you know, lo and behold, here we are. I want to big up the firefighters, 40 fire engines, 200 firefighters, and apparently the first one appeared within 6 minutes. I can't knock that, and any of the work that they've done, I don't hold, although, you know, in terms of what I'm screaming, someone needs to be held accountable. It's not them by any stretch of imagination, and I applaud their work as well. Yeah,
and went against protocol and everything.
Yeah, and throughout
is that right?
Yeah.
Throughout this, it's been consistent. Everybody has commended the emergency services. I think I've heard one woman who's basically saying that the emergency service didn't arrive on site as quickly as it was reported, but that's one woman amongst the sea of compliments.
So there's a few things that I want to obviously touch on, and there's going to be a lot of questions that we're going to have to ask. There's been things said about the whole conspiracy theory, and that's something that's going to be kind of hard to delve in with the time that we've got. But basically, there is a lot of illegal immigrants who live within that building. It was quite well known. And in fact, I think even something I saw this morning said that it was on some sort of demolition list from 2014.
They've got a lot of them.
Yeah. So they were trying to, I don't want to say they were trying, or allegedly they were trying to drive these people out. I'm not trying to say for 1 minute that the government went there, took a torch and said, let's set the fuckers alight. You know, I'm not trying to say that at all. But with everything that's kind of occurred, and you know, the what's the word that I'm looking for when you negligence, the negligence that the council have shown in terms of the concerns that the tenants have raised, I think someone should be held accountable. There should be a manslaughter charge for somebody.
Most definitely. I think in regards to the whole conspiracy theory, I don't necessarily feel it's conspiracy, but I think the proper word is negligence, and I think that it, like it's been reported, they didn't have a care about these people, just for the mere fact that they chose the cheapest cladding available, one which was potentially banned in other countries.
It's actually banned here, but the way the regulations are set out, you can get around it and still use it.
Right, exactly. So it just goes to show that there wasn't a care in the world for these people and their safety, and it was simply just about cutting corners. They've cut corners as everywhere they can. So I don't think it's necessarily conspiracy, but it was just gross negligence. I believe.
Yeah, because
go on.
I can't say for definite that, you know, like you said, that a fire was caused on purpose or anything. But at the end of the day, they didn't care about what happened at the building. If something went wrong, the council didn't care what the consequences of that were. And in that sense, you can say that they've caused this.
But doesn't stop with council though.
But by knowing the potential downfall of fire and so on at the building, and not doing anything about it, it's almost like causing the fire, because you knew the possibilities and you've chosen to turn a blind eye to it.
Well, but I think the government has got to take responsibility for that, because since 1983, I believe it is, when they started refurbing old buildings, they were told that when you're doing this, you are taking a chance with fires because these things are untested. They were told not to use them, and then again in 2013, after the 2009 fire, they were supposed to do a review. They're still waiting for a review to be taken place. It still hasn't been done, and they've come out and they said there is no timeline for it or time frame for when it's going to take place.
But then,
and the thing about it is, it's not just the cladding. There just wasn't any adequate fire suppression system in the building whatsoever, like sprinklers. You know what I mean? The adequate fire alarms. All of these things which
Why weren't
are
this
basic.
done in the refurbishment?
Exactly.
It was said
Was
that
it 8 million?
10 million,
10 million.
10 million pounds was spent on that building. Where did it go?
No,
Obviously,
what I read is that they got a 10 million budget for the property for the building,
Oh, so that
but they
means
spent
rent.
8 million. So there was 2 million left of that budget, which could have obviously gone. And I'm hearing it was in regards to the cladding, it was the equivalent of like £5,000 to get the necessary cladding, which would have prevented and contained the fire as it should have done.
So see, this is the thing as well, and you've got the fire, and again, this is not no dig at them at all, but the people had been advised apparently if there is ever a fire, you stay in your house.
That's cool, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Boy.
And with this happening, no one. I don't even care if I live in a 2-story building. I'm gone. You know what I'm saying?
You know,
No,
But what
I
they're
was
saying
listening
is,
anyway.
but what they're saying is the way that it was built, it was supposed to have been alright.
Exactly.
But the actual refurbishment actually messed it up.
Because the thing about it is when sorry, I don't know if you watched the Panorama documentary, and they showed basically as the fire brigade, I think it was like the first engine was arriving, and
They were shocked.
They were like,
How is this even
how
possible?
is this possible? This is not meant to happen. Like this is against anything we know.
A few of them saying it.
Tower blocks, when there's a fire, it's meant to contain it. It's meant to compartmentalize the fire. Do you know what I mean? So it's not meant to spread. And I even heard a story about there was a fire guy. What are they called? Fireman. Yeah, and not even laughing, but like he was basically he went into the building telling people stay in your property, stay in your properties.
Yeah.
And one of the residents was like, they cannot stay in the properties. Took him round to the front of the building, and then the fireman saw exactly what was happening. Was like, shit, and then told everybody get out.
That's the thing. That's not their fault because their understanding is of how it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
The fact
That's
that
the training
it was
that you
totally different. You know, they totally had to change the way that they would do their normal process.
And again, I just want to say it to everyone as well, just on behalf of us, anyone who's watching or connected to anyone who passed, was injured or lost lives in the tragic event. We give our condolences.
100%.
We're totally, everyone's distraught, you know. And the one thing that kind of always does come out of this, it shows that there's that togetherness there. It's just a shame that sometimes it brings events such as this to bring that side of people out. Do you understand what I mean? Because and this is people of all races, nationalities. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's kind of come together to really try and help. But it does bring me on to the next thing, and I did want to as well speak to the woman as well. You know, we was just talking about the procedures as well. There was one woman, her name was Natasha something, who flooded her own property.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's them sort of quick thinking, like, I'm just like, I was overly impressed, and she survived. You know what I'm saying? She got everyone into the wettest room, and why are we not being taught things like this? You know what I'm saying? Because that's literally saved her life, and apparently she called approximately or allegedly 100 times before she could get through. And I would imagine that, and again, not a dig, I'd imagine that's because of the influx of calls that made it at the same time.
Of course.
But
I also in the Panorama documentary as well. It was also stated that more residents tried, but residents at the higher end of the building, they tried to do that, but there wasn't any actual water in the system. So when they was trying to, there was no water whatsoever because the people at the bottom had used up all the water. Because that's the way the system is designed.
Okay.
Mad.
That is crazy.
Mad.
But we need to talk about the media. Yeah, we need to talk about what was reported to us, the whys and the accuracies of what was reported. I think initially when it first came out, there was seven people announced as dead. 1 or 2 days later, it was 12. But at this point, everyone had kind of caught wind on the fact that these numbers don't add up. If you'd heard the numbers that I was saying at the beginning of the show, it was estimated there was approximately at least 700 people in the building at that time. And one of the things that has really kind of bothered me is the fact that whilst we're seeing so many people, and I think I referred to it on a short video, the woman who was speaking about, you know, we're doing all these things, we're bringing all this food and all this stuff together, and that's fantastic, that's brilliant. But I ain't seen many survivors. I ain't seen many people. There have been some who have come out and speaking, and maybe they don't want to come out and speak because, listen, I get that lives are lost and everything. They haven't got no responsibility to report to me or anything like that. But we're not hearing numbers of survivors. I've never heard someone say, "Well, this is the number of people who survived."
But they don't know how many people are there.
Right, but this is my thing.
Like,
but they can speak to the people who were there and who came out of the building.
How many it can house isn't necessarily how much were there. And
that's
the whole thing
definitely
of you know, the conspiracy of them wanting people out is probably because of that factor. Like, they don't know how many people there are to a household. And
yeah, but Riggs, the thing about it is
you can't talk about survivors if you can't talk about amount of survivors if you don't know the amount of people that
but my issue is that the projected the number that they gave at the time they gave those numbers, they knew it was more than that.
No, to be fair,
in terms of
they knew it was
yeah,
more.
I understand that, but to be fair, it's about saying people are dead when you might still have hope, Rick. You've still got hope that your family member is alive. So for the media to come out and say this amount of people are dead, and whilst the people know, they're still clinging to hope.
bro, to this day, how
People
long
saying
ago-
missing.
How long ago has it happened? To this day, they still haven't reported an accurate figure. They still haven't reported an accurate figure of the amount of people that died.
Right.
Now, and the thing about it is what's causing such uproar, because I think this is one of the biggest like bones of contention that people have in regards to the whole Grenfell Tower issue. And it's that the media are trying to manage people's grief. Now, you are not employed to do that. You're employed to report as the facts occur. Do you know what I mean? And for me, it's like you're trying to insult people's intelligence by saying, oh, well, there's only 12 people dead. There is 600 odd people in the building. Yeah, you have come out and you've reported that the top 4 floors, nobody survived from that. And there's only 12 people dead.
Don't make no sense.
And
What
you know what
numbers-
they should
how
have been
does that
doing
count?
is saying, you know, a number are presumed dead or missing.
Exactly.
Yes.
Do you understand what I mean?
Exactly.
That's a responsible thing to do. And it again, like I said, it's the whole the hate that I've developed for the media, and we're so reliant on it as well. We are totally reliant on the media, but it's almost like you got to filter through the bullshit.
Oh yeah.
You listen, don't get me wrong, I should have been doing that all along, and I should have been doing that before, but it's just so apparent. It's so, you know what I'm saying? It's just so there in your face. It's just like, do they think we're idiots? Do you understand what I mean?
But they've been getting away from it, and without trying to stray away from the subject, they've been doing this for decades upon decades upon decades. But now we're in an age where information is so readily available. You know what I mean? So people have got phones, so anything that happens, you're seeing exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
So people then can like make the comparison in regards to what they're reporting and what you've actually seen happening.
Yeah.
And now the media are being found out. And I think it's awful. I think the media have a big part to play in this also as well, in terms of not obviously what's happened to Grenfell Tower, but in terms of the uproar, in terms of managing the hurt that people are going through.
And they've been a bit careless at times as well. Even with the fire, with the man to identify the man.
Yeah,
I think was outrageous.
Yeah. That is literally
Yeah,
being an accessory to his death.
The whole way the story was done was very negative. It was very. They was accusing him almost, and that wasn't
Because
considering what's just happened. That wasn't needed.
yeah.
And it's
100%. But and again, this is my thing. I hate to kind of make it, it's racial, it's this, that, and the other. But if his name was Tom Smith, yeah, would that have happened? Would his name been put out there and said, you know what, yeah, this is the man to blame? And the reason why I say no is because the media have made such a big thing about saying there's so many illegal immigrants in there, there's so many this, there's so many that, and it's almost saying to you, well, you know what, Mr. Public, they're not only coming here and stealing our homes, they're bombing us up as well. Do you understand what I mean? They're setting us alight.
And the point is, even now that they've been housed, you've got residents who are in the local area where they are being housed outraged by it, saying that their values of their homes are going to be dropped because these people are coming in. They've worked so hard to get themselves to this place. Why should these people be allowed to live next door to them? Like, there were people saying,
That's disgusting, man.
Like
It is, and they're talking about they're driving the house prices down
Yeah.
because of the investments that they've made and they've had to work hard for. And that was the Guardian that I read that in, who reported that. And I just think these are just a load of
I
shit.
can't believe that a man can actually come out and actually have the audacity to say that. Like, you might have thought that, but to actually come out and say that,
public.
That's what I say.
yeah, like it's insane.
It's madness. There's a couple other things. Let me just read out this message from Cardi. We was just talking about the number of bodies. She said a friend I know was working that night, and he said there were over 200 body bags. So right. So, and again, it just goes back to the point of, yes, I get you the point you made about trying to give people hope and stuff like that, but when you know that there isn't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you could still give numbers.
Report.
You're not saying your loved ones are dead, but you're saying this is the kind of numbers we're looking at.
Exactly.
Instead of making people, people are holding out hope of people being out of the building and missing.
Yeah,
like you could be given, a better sense of your expectations.
And but the thing about it is people are realistic and people are stupid. Like, if you've been able to get in contact with your sibling regularly prior to this fire, and then you're unable to get a hold of this guy, you're just not able to get in contact with him. There's no sight of him or but prior to this you've been able to, then you put two and two together.
Yeah.
Obviously you still hold up a certain hope, but
no,
you know what I mean? It's total insult to people.
What I found disturbing is that whilst it's brilliant to see that the whole of the communities have come together, I knew someone that went down there, and she said she went down on the first day, and it was a bag of this people just helping out. And then when she went down the next day, I think the Queen was coming down, and you saw all the council residents come out.
Yeah. And again, you know what I'm saying? Like it's some fucking show, and that pisses me off. The actions of Theresa May at the time, when we was talking about it in the group and that, she didn't want to come out and meet. It's private meetings.
What I don't understand about that is, what do you gain from going there and just looking around?
Exactly.
You could have done it. You could have watched out on the news.
It's just to be seen.
Like,
it was almost to be seen to be doing something.
She's a cold-hearted bitch. Listen, yeah, she's got no empathy, no nothing. Like she doesn't feel nothing that's happening. Like, everything that she's done for show, and that's a little bit that she has done. Like, she weren't there when she was supposed to be. Like, the actions that they've done after has been shit.
Yeah.
Listen, the thing about it is, and this is what I'm glad you raised that, because the government as a whole, have been awful. Firstly, all right. Prior to this, the whole negligence in terms of ensuring,
was already a joke.
There was a fire. What was 2009? It was 2009, where 6 people died. Right. Then they made amendments to the fire regulations.
Yeah.
Right. The whole cladding issue, the cheap cladding issue. This fire has now occurred. Bro, they have military helicopters, which can take tons of water, and disperse tons of water where there are forest fires.
You say that, my 6-year-old said to me, "Why are there not helicopters?"
Bro,
he is 6 years old and he answered that question.
No.
When we was driving down A4 and we saw it was smoking, we came back in the afternoon, he said, "Why didn't helicopters just drop water on it?"
Right.
If a 6-year-old can come up with that idea, I'm sorry. There is no excuse for it.
and the thing about it is, that the fire brigade can only get to a certain level of building.
Yeah.
They can't get to the 20 whatever floor. They can't.
And like so we know that they went into a fire where it wasn't normal, but the size of the building, all fire brigades know that they can only get to a certain floor. So the moment that the fire was announced and they knew the building,
Another contingency plan.
Yes,
right. Again, with the government, even after the fire, you get floods in the country and stuff like that. The army go in and help out the residents and stuff like that. Nobody has come out and helped these people.
Yeah, that was my next point.
It's been all the residents helping each other and the communities coming together. Now, for me, people have gone down there and they've tried to help out, but it's chaos.
My sister went down there.
And
my sister went to Grenfell. Yeah, my sister, my cousin, and she said, it was great to see everybody kind of mucking in, but there was no
structure
officials.
Yeah.
There was no officials.
There's no officials. There's no organisation. And I was down there as well. And I'm not saying there's no organisation.
It's got better
because there are people doing wonderful things down there. But the amount
it's hard to organise this amount of stuff
That's what I'm saying.
because there is so much coming in. There are so much people to take care of. It is hard to organise that amount of stuff. Like because it hasn't got one manager. It's just everyone saying, all right, I'm here to help.
Right, yeah.
And when you've got that many people trying to help, it can cause chaos.
Some people
itself.
need direction.
And
Some people need that direction.
Another thing, sorry, to quickly raise another point. When the whole terrorist thing happened in Westminster in London Bridge, police were on the scene immediately. Now I know obviously this is the Parliament we're talking about, so police guard that regularly anyway. But there was not even a police presence to say, do you know what? At least it's where we are here. We're here to help. It was just left for the people to come together and to try and make something of it. And I think it's absolutely disgusting. I think it's absolutely disgusting.
It's disgraceful, and you know what it is, and how it's kind of come across to me now. It's almost like, all right, cool. You know what? We fucked up with the reaction. Yeah, the reaction to the tragic event. Yeah, let's kind of put it out there that no one could have prevented it happened. But I think the reaction was shit. Even Carly just said, yeah, Jeremy Corbyn came out there to be for the people. He has feelings she don't have any. 100%. Yeah. But it's almost like now the Queen's announced this, and this is how I've done it. I've worked out my numbers. Queen's announced this £2 billion project where they bought these buildings off of this developer, and obviously the people are going to go in there, the survivors, etc. Right. So you've got that. One, will all the survivors get in there? Because can all the survivors actually, realistically, announce themselves? And then I heard Khan, I think the mayor of London, said that.
Announced
because they're illegal immigrants.
Yeah. Right.
Do you understand what I mean?
And this is what one of the guys was saying, the one who was complaining about people coming in. He's saying, well, a lot of these people are sublettings, or what's going to happen is the people that are actually in the fire are not going to get it home.
Right, that's the point I'm making. So whilst they're there and they're living there secretly, they can't actually announce themselves to say, look, I'm homeless. Do you understand what I mean? They've got to go and find something else. What's being done to that? And I think, I can't remember, someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Khan's the mayor now, isn't it? Yeah. He came out and said, listen, I just know my man, the mad one. What's his name? Boris. Yeah, that's my man, yeah.
You got to move with the times.
Yeah, no, I've got to try and move it. But anyway, he come out and said basically there's going to be protection for any sort of illegal immigrant who was found immunity or something.
You know that.
But is that actually, you understand what I mean? If I was an illegal immigrant, would I believe that? I'm not taking that chance to be sent back to wherever it is that I've come from.
And all that's going to happen is they all that will do is mean that he might not be trying to ship you out, but he's not exactly going to be housing you either.
You're on the radar.
Yeah, you're now on the radar.
All it is, all
as soon as this guy's down, you are targeting.
Yeah, you're on the radar. And the thing, the thing about it is, it's like, all right, you're moving these people into these luxurious apartments, yeah, and like you said, it's just taking them out of this is why people have this feeling of conspiracy, because like I said, there's illegal immigrants. The majority of people in that building were either Muslim, black, or from a minority.
Yes,
you know, and this is why people have this feeling of conspiracy, because there was no care for these people, regardless of whether they were here illegally. Regardless, just this is somebody's life we're talking about. This is they were warned on numerous occasions. If you watch the Panorama documentary, there's a guy who gave evidence. He documented all the letters that he sent, like numerous. I'm talking numerous occasions.
Yeah.
And on each occasion, he was rebuffed.
So who can be brought to trial for this? Because I heard that the guy who runs the council, he's walked.
Yeah,
initially got rejected.
He was advised, but he's walked, so he could just go and
no, but he can still
There needs to be an inquest. There needs to be a full inquest about this.
But it's very unlikely that he will have to face a criminal inquest.
But I think someone came out. I thought it was May who come out and said there's just going to be public inquiry or something.
With a judge and so forth. But this is what's going to happen. Exactly. It's going to take years. The furore is going to die down. It's going to be removed from the forefront of people's memory, and it's not going to have the same. People are not going to have the same passion about it, and it's going to be okay. This person's got a little slap on the wrist.
Yeah,
bullshit.
Listen, let me read out a couple of comments. Right, Ring just said, I can't with this Grenfell. My heart broke instantly. Listen, I'm sure that the whole community feels the same way. Shout out to Hannah. She said these were there were reports that the journalist helicopter were flying around the building, flying closer to the building and then flying away, giving people hope. That's
disgusting.
You know, and if that is true, that honestly, that I try not to swear. Hannah said instead of reporting the tragedy, they should have been using the helicopter to save people. 110% agree. But listen, and this is what I'm trying to say, and going back to the media thing, yeah, and what we were just saying about the inquest and all that. Look at the Hillsborough disaster.
Exactly.
Look at how long ago that was.
That's what I'm saying.
This is 20 plus years ago, isn't it?
Bro.
20 plus years ago, and they're still ongoing, and it hasn't got the same, I don't know, impetus that it had at the time. Everything's kind of died down. Yes, people are still heartbroken by it, and it's very, very well known, but nothing.
But when you're not connected to it, you don't feel the same way that people. So all the community come together now. In 20 years' time, you've kind of moved on. That's what I mean. Of course. It's just ridiculous.
Any inquest, any public inquest that happens where there's either government officials involved or who are accused of wrongdoing, or there's the police officials involved working, it always takes years and then dies down, and then that's just their template for how they deal with it in order to get people off
their case.
Yeah. By the time any charges are brought, it's like I say, it doesn't have the same impact. People are they've started to heal, and yes,
then it opens up rooms and stuff.
Like you said, I think somebody should be on a manslaughter charge.
100%.
Never manslaughter charge. It's not going to happen. I know that. I 100% know that. I don't think anybody would, in their right mind, is going to think that's going to happen. Do you know what I mean? But like, this is, like I said, the fire in 2009 should have been a precedent to say, do you know what, this can never happen again. And they didn't learn their lesson from then, and this is now occurred where literally the majority of a high-rise building has been wiped out. The majority.
Do you think they're going to learn from this? Because I can guarantee you that there are many buildings around this country that still have that.
There are other towers in there.
I think that they're going to be forced into doing something.
I would say if you live in a high-rise blocks, yeah, put pressure on your council, put pressure on your MP.
Yeah, your local MP.
Go to your local MP and write letters till you're blue in the face. Yeah. Listen, go to your neighbours. Yes, get petitions and go to your MP.
But at the same time, as much as we're saying all of that,
done that.
They ain't done all of that.
It's true.
You understand what I mean? It just fell on deaf ears.
It's true.
I can't see another council allowing this to go. Like, I can see other councils just jumping on it because no one wants to be in this position.
Yeah, but the amount of money it's going to cost means it's not going to be happening anytime soon.
And this is the thing.
It's going to cost millions.
This is the public sector. But the thing about it is, money shouldn't be
it shouldn't be an issue, Darren, but it's going to be.
Yeah, no, it shouldn't be an issue because there's enough funding. There is enough funding. The councils, they get enough funding. Yeah. In terms of social housing, they get a lot of funding. There's a big social housing problem, but there are a lot of properties being built and developed now. Yeah. And what happens is the developers, they sell out to private buyers because that's where the majority of the income comes.
They've got an obligation.
But they've got an obligation. They've got a quota to fill in terms of public housing. Now all the government needs to say to these developers is, sorry, but you now need to provide us with, instead of 25%, you need to provide us with 35, 40%. That's 100%. It's well within
it sounds brilliantly, but I bet you it won't go like that.
Yeah.
And even with that happening now, and obviously, with us both working in housing, yes, they are technically meeting that quota, but they're not.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean? Exactly. Like anything, there's ways and means loopholes to get around these things. You know what I'm saying? And there's got to be more done, man. If I go to work and I swear at someone and cuss someone out, that's gross misconduct, blah blah blah. If I slap someone in the face, I could probably go to jail. Do you understand what I mean? All these people have died, and the people just get to walk away from their jobs. Do you understand what I mean? It infuriates me so much.
These people walk away from the job, but they don't feel responsible. They don't come out and say, "Well, I'll take responsibility." They don't do that.
Listen, that guy's a prick here. Like he's talking about like it's the residents' fault why certain things didn't get.
Which guy?
They were saying
the guy that resigned.
They were saying things like they went
Don't
round the
lie.
yeah.
So
They
what-
were saying they went round and asked if people wanted sprinklers, and the residents said no.
He said
something.
he said it was too much. It was too much of an inconvenience for them.
Let me say something to you now. I don't want speed cameras. I don't have a choice because it's part and it helps my safety. Yeah, and that's why they put them in as far as they're concerned. So as long as they don't want sprinklers, they shouldn't have a damn choice.
It's
a
bullshit.
joke, man.
It's
a
bullshit.
joke.
To even bring that up. And it's like I was at the I was down there today at a meeting that they had they invited the council, fire brigade and the police.
You down where?
Grenfell Tower.
Oh, you in Grenfell. Okay.
Now none of those turned up. Just one woman from.
Are you joking?
No, none of them turned up.
All right, let me just find out. Yeah, I was gonna say, because it's almost like if I say, you know what, there's gonna be a meeting here, you know, come and show up. Was it how public?
ITV were there.
Oh shit!
It's well documented.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't know how well documented it was.
Everyone knew about it.
So sorry, explain that again. There was a meeting.
There was a meeting for the residents no. Right, so there's something called, I think, the Golden Accord or something like that.
Okay.
And what happens is surrounding boroughs are supposed to come together when
There's been
I think it came from, I saw it was 9/11 or something like that. And yeah, it was something that they brought over here where surrounding boroughs come together to kind of help out the council that you know, the borough that's had that issue.
Yeah.
So all the surrounding boroughs and everything were invited, and obviously was it our borough Kensington, Chelsea, whatever it is. None of them came. There was a meeting on Sunday, and the borough were told not to come there, not to speak to anyone. They've been advised by their lawyers, don't speak to no one, don't give any explanations. Don't do any of this.
Moves, bro. I'm saying
And the thing is, the moment you say something like that, you automatically look guilty.
Ticking box.
Oh gosh.
But yeah, so the meeting was madness. Like there was a lot of angry people there. Understandably, because
100%.
everyone's been told there's a meeting, and the people that, like, there was a panel there. You know, no disrespect to the people that were on the panel, but they don't have the answers. Like they could. Everyone, you know, you've got the whole community there. Like the numbers were crazy. They weren't expecting this many people. But everyone's there.
They should
be expecting the people. Let's not be silly. They should be
They
expecting
should most
numbers.
definitely be expecting the numbers because
No,
of what's happened.
I mean,
This is unprecedented. This is in the history of this country. Never has something as grave as this.
Like
happened.
it was a mad turnout, but you know they couldn't. They had a list of questions. And every time the question was put to them, they was like, "Well, I can't really answer this, and I'm gonna have to take this."
Be careful with what they say.
And there was one woman there from, like, I think environmental health, and like she didn't have a clue. Like she got there and she wasn't in any fit state to answer questions, but she also didn't have the authority, the knowledge to really say, like, everything was based on assumption. She said, like, everyone was okay to go back into their homes there, and the air was fine. She didn't know shit.
Do you know what?
It was a
I
joke.
take my hat off to that woman for going.
For going.
Because that shouldn't be her position. It should be the leader of the council. Yeah, it should be the MP, your local MP. That's your local constituency.
She should be there, but she shouldn't be there holding the fort on her own.
Nah.
She should be there as a point of reference for environmental health, not to be answering questions
On behalf of the council.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
I think it's disgusting.
But the fact that the authorities couldn't come, wouldn't come, is poor.
Let me read out this comment from Bianca. She said Camden's council have said that they have blocks with the same material that has to be
Loads of
taken
them.
off.
Listen, there are loads of them around the country, and that's what I'm saying. It's not gonna. It's not an overnight fix.
This is absolutely mental, because you know, there were reports that people have this strong smell of burning plastic. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. It's frustrating as well. I do as well want to big up. I can't remember the man's name. If you man have seen the interview with his name's Ishmael something, man, the black guy. He was calling them motherfuckers. You might have
I see it.
No, not Dread. Listen, man. speaking some home truth, just about the media, the influence that they have in terms of this. And again, that was the first time that I heard that.
And he was saying it to the reporter, the
yes,
journalist.
I really want to speak. I'm sorry, I can't even remember his name, man. And he was saying that a revolution is needed, man. Like,
well, this is the thing. This is the thing.
It really is.
I was gonna say. I think we're in kind of like unprecedented times. I think, especially talking about the media and the influence they have, and because people are now so aware of the lies and the propaganda that they spill on a daily basis. I don't know. I just feel like we're around the corner from kind of like
An uprising.
Yeah.
Awakening.
Yeah. An uprising where, for one, I personally, I've always said this, and I was saying this the other day, I personally think like, in the journalism field, there should be a quota. You should be allowed literally like a maximum of say like 2 stories where you've reported something and it's untrue. And if it's found that you
come down,
you've reported that, then
That would be dope.
then you have to, I don't know, you have to sit whatever.
Then you're gone,
examine
bro.
it, or
You sit,
have to-
you're gone.
No, but like you know when you get your driving license revoked, I'm talking like that. Like you have to go back
yeah.
right to the beginning. You know?
No, but that don't teach you nothing about it.
Believe me, if a company had to go back to the beginning, believe me, it's going to teach you
All
something.
they're gonna do is go back to the beginning, change the name, and come again, bro. That won't fix nothing,
bro.
It's not that simple.
No, we broke and no come
That's
back.
years. You've gone back years. You know what I mean? So but like I'm saying, I feel we're in times where the people are not gonna just stand for bullshit anymore. We're not gonna just stand for people burning down, not people, but a town being burnt down and adequate fire.
But what's the next step? And
The
I
next-
say that
the very next step is,
yeah. Not to say that we're going to be some revolution and we're going to, you know what I'm saying?
No.
But what is likely to happen?
I mean, we can't. We have to be specific in it because there's loads of other things where people don't be uprising. In regards to situations like this is about working class versus upper class, in my opinion. The working class, the immigrants, immigration, it's seen as those people, us, them we're not valuable. We don't offer any value to society, and that's what the upper class feel. And it's about making them see we are not going to accept that. That's and for me, I can't say what's going to be the next step.
That's what I was going to say.
because-
How as much as we're verbally saying that, how do we make that known?
I can't see how you do that because it's kind of one of them ones where it kind of no matter what you do, they are not going to value you.
You're still fucked.
They will never ever value working class.
Well, you know what I think is a big key in all of that, and it might sound silly. Jeremy Corbyn. I think Jeremy Corbyn is a big factor in that because he is for the first time in a very long time seems to be a politician who is coming from way left of what all other politicians are saying, and
that's why they don't like. That's why they don't like
Do
it.
you know what I mean? And if we as people, like working class people, are smart.
The media
drove against him.
They brainwashed us against
Because the media are that other class.
Exactly.
They don't want him there.
And look at what happened. The media pushed everybody into Corbyn's arms.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Because I don't vote, but I went out and voted specifically.
Right. Because listen, they have assassinated the guy's character from the moment he came into power. Because they knew that he's offering something totally. He's not part of the old boys establishment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's not part of that. So he's offering something what the people actually want to hear.
Oh, you see, like anytime he does anything, like that they can put a story out, like they're on him quick. Like yesterday, like when he didn't even bow and all that. But they're just on him hard.
And you know what was funny, because I think I took an insight and I posted it into the group. It was just one of these papers. Oh, Jeremy Corbyn doesn't bow down to the Queen and has a cheeky wink. But by the way, Theresa May had her head bowed down. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like, oh, he's shit, but this is the one that you should like because she did. No, fuck that.
Media has no right backing anything she does right now. Like
100%.
Like
it just don't make sense.
It's in your best
But
interest.
you know what?
to shut up when
It's
it
good
comes to
because it's making it more apparent. My final question before we start wrapping up, is now that obviously it's been done, have the government done enough? Is the housing is that enough? or should
No.
should it be more? And what?
The housing has been a mess. Like there was something.
No, I'm talking about the £2 million thing, the 68 homes that they
Well,
got
it's
to the
all
people.
good. I've got a house, but
Is-
I've
is
got
that
to live.
enough?
They're gonna need counselling.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're gonna need their house refurb. Like you don't come with
Need
furniture.
rehabilitation,
I
yeah.
need furniture. Like it's gonna take a lot. Do you know, some of them are gonna be mentally scarred for a long time, possibly forever. They're gonna need a lot of counselling, and it's gonna cost a lot of money. They got to be prepared to be meeting these demands. And for me, what I also don't like is that the communities have come together and raised a great deal of money,
Yeah.
but it's all tied up. It's not accessible.
Yeah.
Like
And it's
why?
not accessible.
All the funds that have been raised, that they haven't, the victims haven't got any of this money.
Where's it going?
Where's the money gone?
It's like
They don't know how to distribute it.
you know Shams Charmaine, I can't
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
her name.
Not for the radio.
Not for the radio. She's got her own one agency. She basically started up a GoFundMe as soon as it happened, and I think initially it was to raise £10,000. I think they raised in excess of £10,000. But she posted and she said that she's been inundated with correspondence from the government saying, "Give us the money and we will."
Wow.
What do you mean?
And she's like, "Nah, bruv, no. I'm gonna find a way of getting this money to the people."
Yeah.
And if anything, you just hold it for like.
Yeah.
You know how nuts that is?
you cannot go to the
Ridiculous,
government.
bro.
But it just goes to show how conniving, how scheming they are.
And it was
That
top,
they're
man.
aware of the people setting up GoFundMe. They're aware of people who are raising money and doing this for
And
the
coming in and
survivors
swooping in, bro.
and trying to come in and control everything. But yet you couldn't control when people were out on the streets and the fire was
Sorry,
raging.
I know you was wrapping
Wow.
up. But they were giving people like £10, putting them up in a hotel, and then telling them we're going to move you out of the area. You have to take it or leave it. How are you going to come in and tell a family they've got to move out of the area that they've grown up in, where all their family and friends are, and tell them they've got to take it or leave it? Do
That's madness. Listen, obviously you know that we could talk about this all night. I'm just gonna go one by
So
one.
one more thing. You know they're looking to lock off Carnival now.
Oh no.
Yeah.
If you know what, and I was thinking before, I think this is the most important carnival.
Yeah. Right, so I when I first heard about it, I was like, you can't do that, like, because at the end of the day, the people that don't want the carnival are those people that are angry about them being rehoused and so on. Those are all the posh people in Notting Hill and all of that don't want the carnival. So to not put the carnival on now would just it would just be inciting more madness.
people just turn up there?
But then
It will
But
happen.
then
I'm not
I
going
was-
to go out there. I think it will happen.
right. But then I was listening to a guy today who has lost his house and has nowhere to go. He said, "You really think he wants to party when he don't know what's happening with his house, where
I understand he doesn't want to.
where his friends and neighbours are?" Like he said, like the last thing on his mind is to be raving on the street. And
I understand that, but
and I, like
That's
him.
an individual.
Yeah,
That's him.
That's an
right,
individual.
but he's from there. So like, what I'm saying is to me, yeah, it should go ahead, but.
This is not me talking
From their point
me.
of view,
I think for them.
I can understand. I can understand
I can
why.
understand why
they
they
want
want to go ahead.
they're not going to hear any answers or anything before Carnival comes.
Yeah, but it's not going to run after either.
Yeah, but bro, all right, listen. So you're saying, all right, you know what? It's either we lock off Carnival or we let go. Yeah. Now this is the government who didn't back these people, didn't support these people prior to the fire, right? And now they're basically coming and saying, well, the one highlight of the year in that particular
For the
area
people, for the
for the
community,
people,
yeah.
you're going to come and take that away from them also as well, bro. Do you know how amazing Carnival will be because of the fact that it's
The
celebrating
unity, unity, you know.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is,
Come on,
man.
bro. Anyway, let them try and do that and see the uproar there.
That madness that happened
See
at the
that
council
one.
the other day.
Yeah,
I think
that's the reason why I think
really
about
really
it. They don't want to piss no one off right now. It's not really about that. Last comment that I'm going to read, and then we are going to wrap up. Bianca's just said there has to be accountability. There needs to be real consequence. Bianca, I totally agree with you. How much will the new homes cost? Will they even be able to afford the new homes? There's a high chance it will cost more
That's a good point.
than they were initially paying.
Exactly, because
And I think that, and
reduced.
this is what I'm trying to say, my fingers are crossed that they have put measures in place to protect them. Do you understand what I mean?
But what it will be, Craig, is it will protect you for a certain period, and when that period kicks down, then you got back there full weight. And then guess what happens? You get moved out of the area like it was all like in the beginning. Then they're all out of the area, and it's a rich.
Everyone will get
I'm
housed
going to hold
temporarily.
optimism because
Good luck.
I have to, otherwise it just turn me crazy.
You honestly think they're going to put something in place
I
forever?
didn't think.
We
I
know-
said I have to have optimism. Yeah.
We know
try.
about the private sector, innit?
Yeah.
And that is what the government will be now then delving into the private sector and saying, we need help from you
Yeah.
to save our arses. Yeah? And the private sector is going to say, all right, cool, we're going to help you for such and such a time.
2 years.
Yeah.
But that is the time. And see when that time comes,
You got to jump it up, mate.
I'm taking my peas again.
Yeah.
And that's what it
100%.
is.
Listen, Dwayne, give us your final thoughts, bro. Let's wrap this
I
up.
would like to send my thoughts and prayers to everyone involved and who is affected. For me, I would like them to keep trying to push with the councils and try and get what they can. I know that it's probably falling on deaf ears, but at the end of the day, if we don't make those efforts, they're not going to get anything. And to the councils and to the government, something's got to be done with the funds that are coming into you guys. You can't sit and take people's money. At the end of the day, these people are crying out for it. Like some people have been put into buildings, like hotels, for a night. How is that helpful? What am I supposed to do the following night? Like, you have to help people. If you're going to help people properly.
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, I just want to say, like, I don't know, this touched me on a different kind of level. Like, seeing and hearing the stories of people who survived, people who were in the area and saw the carnage. I'm a family man, and for my mind to even go there is heartbreaking, let alone to even imagine experiencing that. So condolences. I just feel like it doesn't do enough. But all I can say is condolences to the families of those who have passed. To the government, you're bastards. You are real life bastards. And now I feel like it's down to you to show and do the right thing by these people. But I mean, I don't hold much hope. Going forward, I want to see the working class people realizing that there's value within them, and together, let's come together and just be stronger, man. Like, individually, we can't do nothing. As a people, trust me, we can do a lot.
Same again. Condolences to families and people that have lost loved ones in this. Being there is seeing what's going on is truly heartbreaking. Like the guys have said, never seen anything like this. I never want to see anything like this again. I really want the councils and local MPs to really hit your areas and stop this from happening again, because it happening the first time, it's already negligence. To allow this to happen again, and you've seen this already, so if someone has to be held accountable now, if this happens again, straight away, someone has to go to prison.
That's just right. Sorry.
Also, like we need some kind of measures, like to say like what housing blocks and so on should be like. There has to be a certain standard
regulation.
And the whole thing about disabled people being on 10th floors,
Yeah,
anything above ground floor, it shouldn't happen.
It's ridiculous.
Sprinklers and like water.
Are we actually doing this the second broadcast? Yeah?
I don't even
I've got to resume it now. I'm just going to press stop now.
I don't want to, if I'm honest.
Do the next.